All right, everyone. We are back. The 411 Sports World Show, Crossing the Lines edition with none other than the calculator.
Greetings and
Calculator, are you?
salutations, Mr. 411.
Yes, sir. Are you ready? Are you
I
ready?
am ready.
All right. Everyone's waiting for those friendly wagers. They need all the tips they can get, calculator.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's give it to them after this break. All
Friendly
right. It's
wager
third.
time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's Thursday, October 21st, 2021. You are in the 411 Sports World Show. Crossing the lines. So you know what that means, calculator. It's time to give it to them. All right, before we do that though, we need you all to do us one big favor. Yes. Please like us. Press that like button, subscribe, and notification. Please do that for us. It would greatly help the 411 Sports World Show. All right, calculator. The first matchup of this weekend that you want to talk about is Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders, and they're at the Yukon Huskies. What's going on with this matchup, calculator?
Now, Mr. 411, I just want to start this off with some of our listeners have been contacting me and they're saying, hey, calculate. Can we get some Friday night picks? Some people can't wait for the Saturday. So I was like, let me see what I can do. And this one just popped out popped out to me. And I said, okay, let me give our fans a little Friday night breakdown. UConn is getting 15 and a half points. Now, okay, I know betting
That's a
on
lot. That's a
UConn,
lot of points.
that's a lot. And a lot of people say that that might not be enough because UConn has been one of the worst teams in FBS this year. And hey, they were so bad, the books were actually predicting UConn to lose to Yale last week. But UConn bucked up. They showed improvements on both sides of the ball, and they won that game last week. Granted, it was Yale, but still, they were predicted to lose. They came out, they won. I think things are actually pointing up for the Yukon Huskies. On the other side, from a statistical standpoint, the Blue Raiders have been pretty fortunate their last two games. One that they probably should have lost to Marshall, and they should have lost by more than 28 points to Liberty. Taking all that to account, I see the Blue now. Don't get me wrong. I see the Blue Raiders. I think they're going to win. I mean, I think they're clearly better than the Huskies. A lot of teams are better than the Huskies, but we're getting over 2.5 touchdowns on this. So we're getting the Huskies. We're getting them at home on a Friday night. Hey, what do students have to do on a Friday night if they can't go anywhere? They're going to go to a football game. So I don't think, even though they're a bad team, I think they're still going to get a lot of support for it being on Friday night. And I said, hey, give me the Yukon. Give me the home team. Give me 15 and a half points on this game. And I think the Yukon, like I said, they might not win, but I think they'll cover 15 and a half. I think they'll win with 15 and with two touchdowns helping them out.
All right. Take the points. Take UConn and the points.
Friday
Very
night
good.
special, everyone.
Yes. Friday night. So you get this kicked off a little early,
That's
calculator. I
right.
like
That's
that.
right. That's right. Hopefully, it can start on the plus side before the Saturday even starts.
Okay. Well, I'll tune in after I watch Friday Night SmackDown.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. The next matchup, calculator. Oklahoma Sooners at Kansas Jayhawks. Now, this was an old school basketball matchup
Oh, yeah.
that you would die to watch. But I mean, what piques your interest here with a 38 and a half point spread?
What piques my interest is probably the only team worse than UConn is probably Kansas, right? And I think this one could get over real fast, Mister 401. And what really piqued my interest is I saw Kansas is 0-6 against the spread this year. In other words, they hadn't even come close to beating people. Now, believe it or not, they do have one win against an FCS South Dakota team, but they even didn't cover the spread on that one because they almost lost that game. But I said, oh, so I'm not even. I'm going to take. I'm actually going to take this opponent out. Right. I think what I was going to say. Okay, whatever the books put against Kansas, I'm going to take the other team. It just so
Yeah.
happens it was Oklahoma this week, and the reason I really like this is if ever since they put that new quarterback Caleb Williams in for Oklahoma, they have been absolutely on fire. And in this matchup, I think they're going to score. I'm pretty sure they're going to score a touchdown, not just a field goal. I think they're going to score a touchdown every time they have the ball. And I can't see Kansas getting more than 10 points in this one. So we say 38, yeah, 38 and a half is a lot. But when you have a team that is squarely in the mix for a playoff, they got to make statements against the bad teams. So I don't think they're going to really worry about running up the score against a Kansas Jayhawk team that seemed to have mailed it in after last week, from what I saw. So, and I even think the Oklahoma offense or defense, they're a gambling unit. And when you really don't have a threat, they can play that press coverage. They can roll the safeties up. I can even see a defensive touchdown or two being scored on Oklahoma's side, which is going to help. I'm willing to swallow anything other than 40 points in this one. So at 38 and a half, I'm picking Oklahoma. I'm giving up the points. Boomer Sooner, baby.
Yes, sir. That's the easy one there, man. Take the 30. I was going with Oklahoma with this one. Just the minute I saw the matchup, it was like, I don't
Yeah.
care what the point spread is on this one.
Yeah. You can't make it high enough to make me go the other way.
Absolutely, man. Okay, let's flash over to the state of Ohio, where the Kent State Golden Flashes. You like how I did that calculator?
I
But
did. I like it.
yeah, Kent State Golden Flashes. There are the Ohio Bobcats. I'm actually intrigued with this matchup. So do tell more on
Yeah,
this one.
and the reason, the thing that intrigues me about this is Ohio. They did us good last week. You know what I'm saying? They come up. They showed that they're getting better. It took them a while to get used to a new coach, a new offensive system, a whole new culture in Ohio. And I think even though they lost last week, they showed promise. They should have won that game, even though they were a double digit underdog. Anything over a field goal, in my opinion, is a lot of points for a team of the Golden Flashes program, who happen to be 0-4 away from home this season. And as you can see, they are on the road again in this one. In fact, Kent State's 3 wins on the year have come against FCS, Virginia Military Institute, as well as two bottom dwellers in Buffalo and Bowling Green. And all of them are combined 5-9 on the season. And as I stated last week, when Ohio, they did us proud in exploiting a matchup advantage last week against Buffalo, I believe they're going to keep it going this week. The Bobcats ranked 20th in the country in rushing, 8th in yards per rushing attempt, while Kent State ranks 116th in run defense. Also, take note that Ohio is 15-5 against the spread in its last 20 games as an underdog, and I believe they will keep it tight at home against Kent State. So I'm taking Ohio. I'm taking 5.5. And I really think anything over a field goal against Kent State, especially at a massive matchup advantage going to the home team, I'm going to take the 5.5 points for this one. So I think the Bobcats are going to keep it rolling on this one. Take Bobcats and take the 5.5.
All right, take the 5.5. Calculator, look at the top right hand corner of our screen. As you can see, the breast cancer awareness symbol there. And I couldn't help but take a look at your beautiful pink shirt that you have on. See the
Hey,
backdrop on your shirt?
that's right. I just want to say, my daughter is she plays for a local travel and soccer team, and they were giving these out. Well, giving them out is a word. We did, we paid for them, of course, but
Yes.
we wanted to show our support because all proceeds went to breast cancer awareness. So I said, hey, all my family got shirts. I happen to have four sisters. I happen to have two beautiful daughters and a lovely wife. So I support all of them. And that's why it's like, hey, I'm not ashamed to wear pink, especially when it's for a good cause.
Yes, absolutely. And I know my aunt, had her battles as well, and was the winner. And
Mhm.
so we definitely wanted to acknowledge breast cancer awareness. Appreciate you wearing your pink shirt,
Hey,
calculator. And Mr.
hey, yeah,
411
yeah. I
has.
just want to tell
I
everybody that watches your show, 411, this shirt's going to be worn for the rest of October.
absolutely. I love it, calculator. And you're gonna see Mr. 411 in his pink too, pretty soon too. We just didn't want to
Good.
pink out the screen. You know what I
That's
mean?
right. I
We
understand. We
want,
got
we
to
want to
ease
spread it
into it.
out. Yeah,
There
spread it
we
out a
go.
little bit. All right. Well, before we get into our next matchup, as you can see here, it's time. It's time to give
Mm.
the credit where it's due with our major sponsor, and that's Latanya at Heavenly Spa Mobile, and she has something that she wants to tell everyone, calculator, and I'm pretty sure you know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, I'm Latanya with Heavenly Spa Mobile. I'm a licensed massage therapist and owner. I've been practicing 18 years. If you're in need of any stress relief, tension, muscle, body aches, or just want to relax, you need to get yourself a massage. And please come check me out again at Heavenly Spa Mobile. I'm located at 2484 Ingleside Avenue. And I can be reached at 478-747-9231. Or you may go online to heavenlyspa-mobile.com. I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, we thank Latanya at Heavenly Spa Mobile. And if you didn't hear her, it was Heavenly Spa Mobile, 2484 Ingleside Avenue, Building A, Suite 101A, Macon, Georgia 31204. You can reach her by phone on 478-747-9231. Heavenly Spa Mobile, where relaxation is the key. We thank Heavenly Spa Mobile for supporting 411 Sports World. We thank her for supporting the Sports Brothers and all in between. And Calculator, if you haven't been, or if anyone you know hasn't been, send them her way. Because look on the screen here, man.
Oh man,
Look at that, $70 intro special. You
that just that
cannot
just
beat.
that just shows relaxation right there.
Exactly, $70. How much? I mean, it can't get
Yeah,
more relaxed than that.
no, you can't.
$70. I mean, you can't beat that. So
That's right.
check out Miss Heavenly Spa. The information will be scrolling across the bottom until we get to our next matchup.
They let you walk out feeling like new.
That's right. All right, Calculator. Clemson Tiger. No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Oregon, right? We're
yes,
going out west. Okay, so the
gotta
Oregon
go out
Ducks
west.
at UCLA. This is an interesting matchup here, to say the least.
Yeah, and I also want to start this off with this is why we want to do friendly wagers, because this is probably one of the worst weekends to watch college football. So I need something to keep me interested. This is actually one of the top matchups of the week, if you can believe that, a Pac-12 matchup, right? UCLA is actually favored in this by 2 points, and I've been high on Oregon all year, especially at the beginning of the season, and if you remember, they started out hot, beat Ohio State in Columbus without their top 5 NFL prospect Thibodeau. Right, the Ducks blew a late lead later after that when they lost to Stanford, and they looked pretty much kind of like they were going through the motions in their 24-17 win over Cal. But hey, Oregon's quarterback, Brown, he's been mediocre. Their star running back, Vertle, is out for the season. So it's hard to get excited about the Ducks team that looked like they were poised for a playoff push just a month ago. However, UCLA isn't much better. Think back to when they knocked off LSU. We all assumed that this was going to be the new Pac-12 team to be one of the real contenders. Well, losses to Fresno State and Arizona State pretty much smashed that idea. At this point, I'm not ready to sell my Oregon share just yet. I believe the Stanford game, okay, that feels like a fluke, because at one point, if you watch that game, they were actually had a 98% probability to win that game with a minute left in the game. But a couple of series of unfortunate events for Oregon kept Stanford in the game and wound up winning it in overtime. And while the offense isn't as explosive as it looked against Ohio State, I think their defense is playing better and better than it did early on. So I think this is going to be a battle between Oregon's defensive front and a UCLA offensive line that has only allowed a pressure 18.5% of the time, which is 5th best in the nation. But I think the Ducks D finds a way to rattle Thompson Robinson, the quarterback, UCLA quarterback, enough to give their offense a shot. With such a small spread, I'm backing a team that I just believe is better, regardless of the home field advantage. That does play a part, because if it was the other way, I'm sure Oregon would have been favored. But I think Oregon's the better team. I think this will be kind of like a statement game to get them back, saying, hey, we still belong in the playoff discussion. And I'm getting 2 points too for the better team. Quack Attack will be back. Take the Ducks.
All right. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
All right. Oh, slight difficulty here, calculator. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. Now, look, I love this matchup. We're talking about the Clemson Tigers. Now, in the beginning of the season, if you would have thought Clemson at Pitt, If you
Yeah,
was
you wouldn't
like,
even thought about this game,
you
right?
wouldn't even want to, you wouldn't even want to watch
Yeah,
this game.
yeah,
But you know, Pitt has had a solid season,
yeah.
and you know, Clemson has actually been going in the opposite direction of what we thought anticipated before the season began. But I'm gonna tell you, up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, I know some people up that way. They're gonna be rocking up there, man. They can't wait for Clemson to come to town. They don't care what the how their season is going. This will be a feather in their cap. Well, and I looked at this matchup calculator, and in the production meeting when you know laid this one out, I couldn't help but notice that Clemson's getting points. So which way are you
Yes.
going with this one, man?
Oh, and that's what was that stuck out on the page with me when I started looking at all these games. When's the last time has Clemson ever been an underdog against an ACC opponent? Heck, you have to go all the way back to their national championship game against LSU 19 games ago, where they were an underdog against any team. And yes, I am taking that Georgia game into account because at the beginning of the year, you can go and check it. Clemson was actually favored against
They
the
were favored.
Bulldogs in that first game of the year, you know. So, but the one thing I like to do in addition to my friendly wagers is I like to, dabble in the stock market every now and then, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's a term that Wall Street uses. It's called buy the dip. You may say, hey, calculator. Clemson is 0-6 against the spread this season, and they can't move the ball with any consistency. And it's like, yeah, you're right. Okay, you can say, hey, calculator. The Panthers are 5-1 against the spread this year. And I'll say, yeah, you're right. But I believe that's exactly why the betting public has jumped ship. But keep in mind, covering as a favorite with an anemic offense is a heck of a lot more challenging than covering as an underdog. And this underdog just so happens to have a defense that is fourth in the country in scoring. All right. Clemson will see its season on the line and try to reassert its dominance. I like the Clemson Tigers, not only cover, but I actually have them with an outright win. But hey,
Oh,
if you're gonna give me three points or more, I'm gonna take it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You're giving it to me. So, but hey, if you're feeling a little froggy, you can go on the money line and get a little bit better odds. But hey, I'll take the points, play it safe, and currently it's at a field goal, so that's always good to have that magic number of 3. But yeah, I think the Clemson's actually wins this game, and I think they say, hey, we're still the king of the ACC.
okay. All right. And you say buy the dip. I like that
Buy
calculator.
the dip. Always remember that. And everybody's jumping ship, but not the calculator.
Uh-oh.
That's
We have an alert calculator. So you know what that means. It's time for
yes,
the
it's
jackpot. The jackpot
jackpot
pick
time.
of the
Jackpot
week.
time.
You want your pockets fatter.
So, hey, going out Colorado Buffaloes at California Golden Bears. It's Pac-12 3:30 game. Usually I like them at 10 o'clock, but I'll take a 3:30 game. Okay, y'all gonna come at me again? Y'all say calculator. Did you not see Colorado just last week lay the wood to Arizona and beat them 34-0, earning its first win over an FBS school this season? I say, yeah, I saw it, but you know what? There was a lot of things going in Colorado's favor last week. Buffaloes, they were coming off of a bye. They were playing at home where altitude always seems to be a factor. And they're facing a winless, dreadful, probably the worst team in the Pac 12. And this is going to be a much different situation. Although the California Bears, are winless against FBS schools this year, they are rightfully favored by 2 scores for a reason. They have a respectable defense and an offense that at moments can surprise you, especially if you saw that just that Oregon game last week. They had up and down, and they looked decent at times, right? I believe Colorado is just not that good, especially on the road. I expect Cal to be ready to rock and get its first win in convincing fashion. This is by far the worst FBS opponent Cal has faced up to this point. They'll be able to beat up on Arizona a little bit later this year, but this is going to be the worst team they face. They faced some pretty decent teams up to this point, and they've held their own. So I think Colorado wins. They cover the 9. Heck, I'd go all the way up to 2 touchdowns if I have to, because yes, I think California is that much better against the Buffaloes, and again playing at home. So take the California Bears and give up the 9 on this one.
All right, that's the jackpot one right
And
there,
that's our
ladies and
jackpot.
gentlemen.
That's how good I feel about it, Mr. 411.
Man, you feel that good, calculator?
Love this game.
All right, I'm running to Vegas for it. All right, calculator, we are down to the last matchup for this weekend. You saved the best for last outside of the jackpot.
Yeah,
Nevada.
well, I like to go. I like to give people how they want to start, and if they want to build the bankroll early, and then
Yeah.
kind of like spread it out. So hopefully you can build that bankroll up, double it on the jackpot, and then have a little left over for the 7 o'clock game.
Okay. All right. The Wolfpack and the Bulldogs. All right.
Yeah. And it's another small spread, and I kind of like small spreads because that's when you can just look at the teams, take out home field advantage. I always give a 2 points, 2.5, 3 point, depending if you have a real good home field advantage, like a teams that play at altitude and stuff like that. But Fresno State's only favored by 3, and I'm thinking, okay. If you remember early in the season, September, the Bulldogs, Fresno State Bulldogs, they fought hard against Oregon, narrowly
Yep.
lost. They fought hard against UCLA and actually wore UCLA down to a point where they won the game. All right. There might be a reason to worry about their offense at the moment because since scoring 40 on UCLA in their game, they've averaged just 26 points per game against the likes of UNLV, Hawaii, and Wyoming, right? But on the flip side, the Bulldogs defense will be the strong unit in this game as they are only allowing 23 yards per drive, which is 10th in all of FBS, and 1.4 points per drive, which is 15th. I think they will be able to limit an offense of Nevada. They're kind of like an all or nothing defense. So I think if you have a stingy defense that makes them
Hmm.
have to, they don't like to matriculate down the field. They like to take the big shots. And I think that's going to play in Fresno State's wheelhouse, right? So if you take and then you take Nevada has a shaky defense, right? So I think they're not going to be able to take full advantage of the Fresno offensive regression, which you have a recipe for a double-digit victory at home. So I feel real good. I'm only giving up 3 points in this one. I'm getting the home field advantage. I'm getting teams that are better on both sides of the ball. I'm getting the
Right.
team that's better on both sides of the line, and the statistics back everything up to support at least a 7 or more point victory. So I'm only giving up 3 in this one. So I feel real good about the Bulldogs winning this by more than a field goal. So take the Bulldogs, the West Coast Bulldogs, as they call them on the East Coast, the West Coast Bulldogs by -3.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about winning the game in the trenches because that's where football is really won. I mean, there's a lot of glamour positions: the quarterback, the receiver, the running back. The kick, the kickoff returns, and the DBs with interceptions, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. But really, football is won in the trenches.
Absolutely.
That's how you build your team. So, and when you're looking at these matchups, I love the point that you made about paying attention to the interior offensive
Yes.
defensive lines.
Yes.
All right. All right. So you have Fresno State with the -3. All right, calculator. Man, these are awesome picks. Anyone who's making their friendly wagers for the weekend, if they follow this slate, their pocket should be much fatter than what it was
And that's what we hope
before the
for.
end of Saturday, calculator.
What if I always say? The calculator is a capitalist. I want
That's it.
everybody to make as much money as they can, and that's what we're
Absolutely.
here for. That's what we're going to try and do here.
That's right. Yes. And we're thankful for that, calculator. And
Yes, sir.
appreciate you being on again. We'll be back on here every Thursday with Crossing the Lines. But they also can see the calculator and Mr. 401 on Tuesdays. And actually next week it'll be Monday.
Yeah, we got to do a Monday night special for everybody.
Right.
We'll get people get people the information as early as we can.
Absolutely, with the fantasy football take. So
Yes.
catch us on Monday, and then you also catch us again on Thursday for Crossing the Lines as we
Mm-hmm.
continue with our friendly wagers this season.
Mm-hmm.
But calculator, definitely appreciate you being on. Thank everybody for tuning in. Thank everybody for listening and watching. You can find us on YouTube. Just type in 411 Sports World. All right, calculator.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, for the calculator, I am Mr. 411. We thank you all for listening. We want you to have a great weekend, have a great day, and guess what? We're out of here.